desert, and the words isolated, hot, and dry spring to mind. Then how is it that this is also a desert? Not the Mother Nature kind, but rather a man-made one called a food desert.
The easiest definition for a food desert is an area that lacks easy access to affordable, healthy, fresh food. So produce, fresh dairy, fresh meats, things like that.
I live far from a grocery store, and I don't have a car.
Dr. Donald Gates heads up Pima County Health Department's Communities Putting Prevention to Work grant. He says families like Maria's throughout Pima County's lower-income neighborhoods often struggle to get to stores where they can find fresh produce and other healthy items. In some parts of her community, those stores are not conveniently located. For Maria and her family, eating healthy means time-consuming bus trips and lots of waiting. After a long workday, it's just easier, she says, to get cheap, fast food.
We make our decisions based on what we know, what we can afford, and what's convenient. So even though we might know that we need to incorporate more fruits and vegetables and milk into our diet, if it's too far away, if it costs too much, if it would take an hour trip just to pick up, we're less likely to act on that knowledge that we have.
Upwards of 700,000 Arizonans live in these food deserts. The USDA's Food and Nutrition Service estimates that 60% of Arizona's food deserts are in urban areas. In Pima County, most are in poorer areas west and south of downtown. While there are vast and complicated solutions to challenging these food deserts, there are also simple, basic, and even fun partial solutions that are taking root literally all over Pima County.
She's learned how to plant vegetables, fruits. She likes to dig a lot. She even made a garden at home.
We don't have to wait for a large multinational or multi-state grocery firm to move into a given area.
We have a huge opportunity to start growing fresh fruits and vegetables in neighborhoods, in parks, in schools.
We can increase the availability of fresh fruits and vegetables and produce there through farmers markets, through gardening programs, through working with smaller retailers.
And it's not just wishful thinking. Through the efforts and direct support of Communities Putting Prevention to Work, or CPPW, home gardens, an urban farm, school gardens, and farmers markets are now thriving within Pima County's food deserts. Lorene Matilda lives right in the middle of a food desert and is on a fixed income. While she and her husband Dale have transportation, Lorene was convinced that a small garden would meet their fresh vegetable needs. Well, the garden isn't small anymore, and not only is the couple growing enough for themselves, but also for their neighbors.
There's a neighbor over there, there's some Section 8 apartments, and there's a neighbor there that says, "It just feels so good to look at something so green."
How you doing?
I'm good, how are you? There's several neighbors that'll stop by and ask what I have, and they'll buy a few things. I have one neighbor that regularly buys $5 or $10 worth of stuff, whatever's in season. He's not picky, just as long as it's green and good to eat.
But not everyone has the space or skills to launch such an ambitious garden. The solution? This urban farm located on Tucson's southwest side. CPPW, in partnership with a community food bank, paid to prep the ground and provides the water and maintenance, along with community members for support. Neighbors can plant a small plot within the 7 acres and tend to it on their own schedule. It's not just about growing vegetables, it's also about growing community.
We have had some excellent days out here with community members. We've had a monsoon celebration that had right around 100 people. We've had a music celebration with between 50 and 60, so our numbers are really good in terms of getting people out. There's a waiting list for folks to actually adopt plots here, so the response is really positive.
The urban farm is located in yet another food desert. There are gardening workshops and experts to help even those lacking a green thumb, providing valuable assistance and encouragement to maintain their plots.
Our reasoning is that if we can help folks know how to grow food for themselves, provide space for them to do it, and a little bit of help in getting started, people are perfectly capable of producing healthy food for themselves.
And now look, from the seed, we have all this transformation. It's okay, we've got room for
CPPW staff is convinced that even the very young are perfectly capable of planting and maintaining a healthy garden. At Ochoa Elementary, a class of preschoolers and their parents have taken up the challenge of a large school garden. CPPW helped to expand the established garden and provides health education for parents. On this day, the children hosted a salad bar for parents and visitors. All the lettuce, well, it was grown and harvested by the preschoolers themselves.
What we're cultivating here goes way beyond just the beauty of growing food, which is so important in itself, but we're growing community together. We're learning about gratitude and sharing the wealth with our community.
While the traits of gratitude and sharing are key, equally important is using the garden to teach children about healthy eating habits.
We're learning this together. The children, the families, the teachers here are learning that we have this temple, and many of the common diseases are preventable if we eat healthfully.
Make no mistake, these kids are getting the message.
Do you like having a garden? Why?
Because it has different vegetables and flowers.
And how come you like that?
Because they make me healthy.
The parents and I have talked, this is the first generation of children that may not live as long as their parents live.
And when it comes to sharing an abundance of crops from small and large gardens and local farms, a farmer's market is the place to congregate. At the Mercado San Agustin, for example, the market features a large variety of vendors set up with independent booths. Farmers sell organic vegetables and fruits, eggs, honey, coffee, plants, and range-fed beef. Remember Lorene and her husband Dale? Well, today he brought in extra eggplant and other fresh vegetables to be sold on consignment by the food bank. Farmers markets, school gardens, the urban farm, and home gardens. These are all ways communities putting prevention to work efforts are helping our community to find solutions to food deserts by working together.